We can finally say it, baby. We can finally say it. Fletcher Cox. Deep penetration. Fletcher Cox. Deep penetration. On and off the field. Eagles get back in the win column. They spanked the Bills. They put them through multiple tables. 31-13. Eagles back in the victory column. Philly 500 is here. I am Adrian Fedhue. Deep penetration.
I forgot to put my mic in. I got no deep penetration in my ears right now. Sorry.
Deep.
Yeah, you do it. That's your thing. I love it. He went deep. He went to the ovaries today.
You went deep to the ovaries. Deep penetration.
Beautiful win.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh man, this is just one of those games where you don't know going in, is this team going to answer the bell? Everything that happened on Friday, it's going to go one of two ways. You're going to come in and fight, or you're going to die. And this team fought, and they got to win. I mean, they put 31 points up against a good defense, a really good defense. And I think you got a lot to build on here.
So here's what happened today. And here's what I was stressing about all week. So the slow starts really were a big deal coming in. And here's what happened today. So 5 times in the first 7 games, the opposing team scored a touchdown on the opening drive. Well, what happened today? Fletcher Cox, deep penetration. So the Bills had to punt. And so that kind of really started it. So the Eagles were able to weather that early storm that they haven't been able to all season long, when they've been getting down 14-0 and then 24-7 and whatever score it is that particular week, right? Well, today it was just kind of they were kind of slugging it around within the first quarter and a half, and then once the Eagles finally got it going, they were able to keep maintaining the game plan and the methodical running style. So it's like they played the game that they wanted to play. They won a game the way that they wanted to win it. And that's why this was important today. So they stuck with the run, and then in the fourth quarter, playing with a lead, they take 8+ minutes off the clock. This was exactly what I wanted to see today. Still some kinks that need to be fixed. We'll talk about it. But this was a win that was a good win for the Eagles.
It was. I mean, look, I think that sack on Josh Allen at the end of the half, right, with 2 minutes left in the first half. You get a sack, you force a fumble, you get the ball back, and for the offense to go down and score a touchdown was huge. It was huge. Then you came back and you got the ball back, and then you scored again, and those were huge things. But here's the funny thing. The defense allows a touchdown, which they always seem to do after they score. But our offense went down and answered that, and that was all that you needed at that point. And man, I'll tell you what, dude, that this team can really build on this win. That's for sure.
No, it really can. It was all about, to me, I wanted to see how they started. And if they started slow again, where it was 10-0, they had to play from behind, and then they won the game, that I wouldn't have felt good about that win. Because it still means that you're still playing the same style of football that you've been playing all season long. Well, this was different today. This was a different type of win than the other wins that they've had where they've played from behind. This was the first one, not including the Jets, because that really doesn't count. Where, again, you played the style you wanted to play. You really ran the football today. You used that offensive line of yours. Brandon Brooks was huge. So Jordan Howard, 23 carries for 96 yards. That really doesn't look like a lot. 14 yards per carry. But he was able to pick up the big yardages when the Bills knew that the Eagles were going to run the ball in the fourth. And he was still able to pick up positive yardage. So that was really key for the Eagles today. So he was able to just keep maintaining that positive momentum, 4, 5, 6 yards a carry, just picking his way on the Bills defense.
Yeah, no, I think you're exactly right. I think you're exactly right. And they did some other things on offense, things that they haven't done all year. They used the screen game, and they used it effectively, which which was big time. I think Carson missed one screen, or it was a wheel route where I think it was Sanders coming out the left side, and he was getting blitzed. I don't know if he could see him, but he tried to run and go the other way and throw it short down to earth. If he would have been able to get that ball over the defenders, you might have had a touchdown there. But they ran a screen. They used that 2 tight end, 2 running back set, which was fantastic. Yeah. And I think they still need to do more, like changing things up, not being so predictable, because there's too many plays I can tell people what it's going to be just by the formation. So defenses can. But they did some things that you hadn't seen, and I think they hit on those plays. You know what I mean? Definitely something to build on.
You know why you haven't seen those plays this year? Because of the slow starts. You've had to throw away the game plans and a lot of the packages because you got to get back in the game. You got to throw to your wide receivers. You got to get big chunks in the passing game. And today, I mean, obviously you had a big gust of wind, and today was an unusual circumstance where you're not going to have winds like this normally. But you had a game plan today where you were able to utilize the screen game more. You ran the ball more. You ran the ball 41 times today. So 41 times, even if you take away the eight Carson carries, it's still 33 runs as opposed to 24.
And how about that? I mean, letting him keep the ball a couple times, he double moonwalked Bill's ass.
Yeah,
the first time.
I mean, I was like, oh my God, get down. I mean, he came away safely. So okay.
Yeah.
But, scares me.
It does scare me, but it needed to be done today. It had to be done today, especially with the conditions. And I think I said this to you earlier. I think that the wind and the lack of vertical game that we have actually didn't hurt us too much, because you weren't taking a key element out of our game because you can't throw the ball 30 yards down the field. Although he made a beautiful pass to Alshon down the sideline. But I thought that it didn't hurt us too much.
41 carries for 218 yards. Eagles have a serious case of the runs, and the offensive lineman miles ahead of the Bills' defensive lineman, because Miles Sanders had that big touchdown run. Although that was really Jordan Howard opening the way as the lead blocker, playing a de facto fullback on that play. Sanders goes down the left sideline, 65 yards. So he left with an injury. I'll have to check to see what his.
I think it was a shoulder. It looked like a shoulder because he was running off, and he was. Hopefully, it's not like a. We
don't know the severity of it right now.
Yeah, hopefully it's not anything. Keep him out, because, look, he showed you his explosion, his ability to accelerate, get by those 3 guys, and then get around the sideline and beat everybody. Who's at first glance, it looked like they had the angle on him. But he was able to accelerate. I thought it was a great game for him, man. We've been waiting for that.
Yeah, and I've been waiting for the pass rush. They had 4 sacks today. We're gonna So we'll talk about this right now. So 3rd and longs are still a problem. They're still a problem. They won the game today. They won by 18 points. So the awesome thing about the win today was the fact that you were able to win this game by 18 points. Despite the fact that you still have problems with your 3rd down defense. Lots of problems here. So I don't know how many conversions they had. I know it was 5 of 8 Dallas was on 3rd and 6 plus last week. I'm going to tabulate it again. But I can't tell you how many 3rd and 10 pluses they had today. Even the touchdown they had. It was a 3rd and goal from the 14.
Their last touchdown. Well, yeah, they had the 3rd and 14 to Beasley. And then when we scored and they answered us in the second half, they converted on 3, like 3rd and 14, 3rd and 12. It was like all long 3rd downs that they converted on that touchdown drive. And the last one being a 3rd and long on a screen pass that went for a touchdown. That has killed us all year.
So let's get into what you saw from the D-line. What did you think? Because I believe they had been averaging less than a sack per game besides the Jets game. I think that's what it was. So to get 4 sacks from them, to get constant pressure, Josh Allen was basically running for his life all game. So that was nice to see.
Fletcher Cox was a beast today.
Fletcher Cox.
Fletcher Cox looked like Fletcher Cox that we expect. Do you think that this? I need to go back and watch this kid they just picked up. Was it Rush Huggins or something like that? Higgins? Did he play?
Anthony Rush?
Yeah, Anthony Rush. Did he play?
I think he may have played. I'll have to go.
I want to go.
I'll see when I watch.
Fletcher Cox was good, but I want to see who was playing next to him.
Yeah.
That's what I need to watch because I think having guys out the last few weeks have hurt him, and I want to see if somebody just had a great game and it really freed him up. I thought Brandon Graham was fantastic. I mean,
yes,
I think he's been given energy every week.
I thought,
yeah, and I thought Derek Barnett was okay too. So they were good. They were good.
Bills were 6 of 15 on third down. So a lot of the third down conversions they had, it seemed like they had in the first half. They kind of clamped it down in the second half. But, the reason why this is worrisome is the biggest threat that the Bills had offensively was John Brown.
And the weather.
And the weather, right? And you had the weather working in your favor. And the fact that the Eagles were still not able to get off the field on third and long is very concerning because it's not going to get easier against better quality wide receivers.
No.
You're not going to get the Bills wide receivers every week.
Right.
That's why I like the Eagles coming in because it was a matchup that really favored.
And the point the point where you really want to attack the Eagles is you want to stretch that field on them. You can go downfield on this team, and you can't with the wind like that. So I do think that in a weird way, the wind favored both our offense and defense. One, the lack of vertical threat that we have, and the lack of being able to defend the vertical threat. So that helped us, and that's going to have to change. But I mean, look, Ronald Darby and Jalen Mills are a lot better than everybody else, and I'm not saying that they're great, but on that team, at least they're competent, in my opinion.
I mean, if you saw look, again, these aren't the best receivers in the world, but if you looked at Jalen Mills and Rasul Douglas and even Ronald Darby today, and the amount of separation, it wasn't as much as when who the hell was even in there? Sidney Jones and whoever the hell was in.
Yeah, no, I know.
Scandrick.
I know Scandrick.
Yeah, Sidney Jones played in the slot today.
Yeah, he tried to jam Beasley on one play and missed him completely.
I know. I remember that.
He missed him totally. Yeah. Like, dude,
that's a shame because that's what he does. That's what he's supposed to do well. But I don't. It didn't seem like he got beat too bad today. I mean, again,
no, he made a good play at the end of the game. See, I wanted us to run the score up because there's like 4 minutes left and they're calling timeouts. It's like, what are you calling timeouts for? Throw on these assholes. Throw on their ass.
Double bullocks the ball.
Yeah, you want to play. You don't want to give up. Then I'm going to go long. I'm going right to the end zone. They just kept calling timeouts. Like 4 minutes left. Game's over, dude.
So let's see. Josh Allen was 16 of 34. He did have 2 touchdowns. So again, so third down defense, red zone defense is still kind of hurting them. And I thought with that would start to get better, at least the red zone defense. Even though Jalen Mills is like an average corner, he's better in the red zone than Sidney Jones was. So Josh Allen, 16 to 34, had 2 touchdowns, 169 yards. Pass. That's it.
I'll tell you what, though, we could have had 3 or 4 more sacks on him. He got away from.
Yeah, he did a good job of escaping. Yeah, so
he's very dangerous with his feet.
Eagles' pressure was relentless today. So I'm hoping that again, you get that moving forward because that's going to help you on third and longs. But again, they weren't able to stop it today. But that was more so because Allen keeps plays alive with his feet. So that's what he did.
I feel like dancing, dude. I'm so happy we won. I couldn't go through another week of this shit. I was so fed up.
If they went 3-5, I would have started to lose it.
Dude, I couldn't do it. I was so frustrated, so pissed about the Dallas game. I was not even pissed. I was just hurt because I thought they lacked effort.
It was really disappointing because it's the way they started after the way
But
they talked all week
they
about me.
had no energy. They just like no fight. You know what I mean? And
Well, they
then
fought
you're
today.
dealing with all, yeah,
They
and you're
fought
dealing
today.
with all the crap because people are still talking about who was the mole, who was the rat. So that's going on, and then when that starts to like die down, Scandrick goes on national TV and starts just basically giving his retirement speech, as far as I'm concerned,
He,
and
yes.
and like it's like I just can't take any more of this crap. Just go play friggin' football and fight and beat this team. And I knew it. If they gave a full effort, I knew they were going to kick. I believe they would kick this team's ass. And I said it in my video. I thank God.
What's
I
I,
could
I
breathe.
really thought all right. So I'm typing out the comment here. How much did you think the weather played a part in this game?
In terms of
I,
which
I guess I thought the weather favored the Eagles.
yeah, I do too because and people were saying it favors. I think it was Dittinger, and I was listening to him earlier. He's like he thought it favored the Bills, and I'm thinking, well, the Eagles don't have a vertical game, and they don't stop the vertical game. So to me, it feels like it would help the Eagles more,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. No,
But I think desperation is key.
I agree with that, and I mean, coming in like you knew that the Eagles could stop the run. They put themselves in favorable positions on third down. They just don't get off the field on third down.
Right.
That's been the problem this year. It was 6-15 today. The Bills were. I don't know if I said that number before. That's my birthday, by the way. 6-15. So that needs to get cleaned up. Red zone still needs to get cleaned up. But weather today, I really did think it favored the Eagles. And that ball that we talked about it, you kind of talked about it, that ball that went through, I mean, that was probably a lot harder than it looked because he made it look.
That was a very hard throw because people have to understand. If you look at a couple passes because it looked like the wind was blowing that way where
They
he
were
threw it.
gusty. So it was
And
like
when Josh Allen
25,
threw a couple of those
25 to 30 mile an hour
yeah.
gusts.
And when Josh Allen was throwing it, the ball one drifted into the sideline, the other just died in midair and fell on an open guy was wide open down the field, if you remember. And it just died. So I think it was a very hard throw. And you saw the flagpoles like this, you know? I
Yeah.
always go the wrong way on Streamlab, dude. It's
It's
like
a little bit
backwards.
weird. It's a little bit different. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
I'm still
where the hell am I?
it's an adjustment period.
It's an adjustment period.
Yeah.
Just like Skip Bayless needs to adjust for that prostate exam, that little prick.
Let's see. Well,
Sorry,
that's
I just had to say
exactly
that.
what that was. It was Skip Bayless manipulating the situation. He saw a vulnerable Orlando Scandrick who wasn't handling unemployment well. He let him air the dirty laundry on national television. He spilled the tea. But you know what Skip Bayless did? All he did was piss the Eagles off. And now
Yeah.
they're hungry. They're hungry again. They're hungry dogs.
Yeah, it's gonna come back and it's gonna bite their ass.
Like their ass.
Bite their ass.
Yeah. So yeah, let's talk about that even further. Orlando Scandrick's comments. What did you think about what he said?
Well, here's what I think. I think that there was based upon what I seen the Eagles and I was complaining about, I think there was some truth to some of the things he said about the team not being hungry, about them living in the past and not going out there full throttle. Because I've been talking about, I see it. What I didn't like was I didn't like the comments on Howie. I thought they were unfair. And then the Malcolm Jenkins stuff kind of pissed me off. And then the insinuation that Carson didn't work hard because Dak's first. I thought that was ridiculous because the one thing you can't say about Carson Wentz is he's not a hard worker. He doesn't show up. That has never been a question ever. So I thought he was just playing to Skip Bayless, and Skip Bayless was sitting there like this. Like, did you see his evil face?
Like the Grinch. Yeah, he looked like the Grinch up there.
And it was just like that those kind of things were hard for me to believe because he said Malcolm Jenkins is selfish, doesn't take accountability. I remember Malcolm Jenkins saying it was his fault on that play where Douglas got just burnt. So I think that Dude, I'm conspiracy. I'm starting to believe that Dallas sent Scandrick as a spy. Yeah, because he said that he was talking
Doing the
to
evil
Sean Lee
Pee-wee.
all week. Well, what are you talking to Sean Lee? You're giving him the game plan.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I'm seeing the comments here, and I agree with Philly 0024. Give Orlando Scandrick the game ball. Give him the game ball for not only this game, for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
He woke him up. He woke him up. I'm telling you. He woke him up in the locker room, and I know this happened because they had a team meeting, a players only meeting, I believe, which is something that they normally don't do. So they called some people out. It was call out week. Take some accountability. This is the type of stuff that can grow a team together. We know that Doug Peterson is the players' coach. He's not somebody that's players are going to quit on. So this is what we saw today. This was basically it was a beatdown, and it basically what's the word? It basically says that I'm right about what happened this week.
Yeah,
It was a call out.
Look, the Eagles.
It woke them up.
Look, the Eagles' best 2 wins have been against 2 5-1 teams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they can play when they're all in and they're together and they're hungry. They can kick ass. But they had to maybe they needed this. I mean, this can turn the whole season around. I don't want to talk about it. I can see the Americans game next year, and then Scandrick's being all over it, just infamous, right? It would be great. Wouldn't it be great?
I'd put him on the panel. I'd put him on the panel on the 3.
But it's just like I don't know. I think player meetings usually only work if you never do them. Like if you did them every year, every week, they would never work. It wouldn't work.
Yeah,
the fact that they never do it, it was big deal. You know what I mean? Some teams do it like, oh, player meeting, and it never works. You have to do it only in rare occasions, I think, and this was one of them.
Doug tried to do it last week with the guarantee, bit him in the ass,
Right.
but then Orlando bit himself in the ass, not handling unemployment well.
Yes, he did.
No. All right. So here's what we're gonna do now. Here's what we're gonna do now, Philly 500. We're gonna pretend that we are in the Eagles front office. We are talking.
Well, this is where I live.
Yeah, we are in Howie Roseman's ear right now. We're trying to figure out who we should acquire at the trade deadline. What do you think?
Well, are we ruling out my plan to get Antonio Brown? We have to say that that's out, right?
Listen. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. If you want to lay out the blueprint, you want to sign Antonio Brown. If that's the big move.
I would do it, but they're not going to do it. So let's keep this realistic. I think if you're the Eagles, what I would do is I would say I don't think one corner coming here is going to change my whole defense. I know there's rumors about Darius Slay. He's one guy I would consider though. I think the move is to either get a defensive tackle or a wide receiver. I prefer wide receiver. I would look to get Devontae Parker or Robbie Anderson because they both can stretch the field. I would get one of those guys as an insurance policy for Deshaun Jackson because I just don't know what's up with him. And you need a vertical threat on this offense. The way the Eagles are going to win is not shutting teams down to 17 points. It's going to be outscoring them. It's just going to be that way. We don't have enough horses on defense. That's where I would look. Offensive. I would go wide receiver, first option, second option, defensive tackle, third option, corner.
All right. So before we even look at options and all that, I want to make this point because the trade deadline has changed. It's quickly evolving in front of our eyes. 3-4 years ago, nobody used to make trades at the trade deadline, so we didn't know what the market was. We had nothing that was established. Howie Roseman took advantage of this,
right?
And he would go after Jay Ajayi and make some moves for guys for cheap. Well, guys now are not going for these draft picks. They are going for much higher because, more teams are in on the fun, in on the action. So demand drives up the price, and we're seeing more draft picks being used. This is why the Eagles have to be careful here because you have the second oldest roster in the league. got two guys making over $100 million, and these prices are going to be really high. So what's going to be the guy? Who's the guy that's not going to cost too much? That's the question. Because, like, Darius Slay, like, I'd love to have Darius Slay and, like, Patrick Peterson, maybe another one, Chris Harris. But what are the prices on these guys going to be? Are you going to have to part with a first-round pick, especially Darius Slay and Peterson?
No. I mean, I'm not.
Oh no, I know you're not. I know you're saying. Yeah, I know what you're saying. You want a receiver first.
Like, well, look, if I could get Robbie Anderson for a second or third round pick, let's just say, and I can sign him.
If you can get Robbie Anderson for a third, that's a move you make. If you can get John, John Ross for a third round pick, that's a move you make.
Yeah, see, but those guys are young guys. I'm not looking at those guys as leaving my organization after this year. Even Devontae Parker has one more year. He has an option year next year, and he's only making $5 million. I could bring him in for 2 years. I'll do that for a guy under 28 years old. You know.
Yeah.
But 30, I can't give a lot.
Let's see. How old is Darius Slay? Patrick Peterson is 29. Darius Slay. It's like Is Darius Slay 29, 30? Darius Slay is 20.
I think he is.
He's going to be 29 on January 1st. So he's probably going to cost you first.
What's his contract?
Yeah, let me look. He's probably
he's going to be expensive.
Honestly, he's probably not a guy you want because he's expensive. Because they play a lot of.
I think the key is receiver, man.
They play more man coverage than anything there in Detroit. So he is
I think a receiver.
Actually, he's a free agent after next year. So you have him for a year and a half. He would be a $13.4 million cap hit for him.
Well, you can't give up a first round pick. You can't give up you can't do it.
He might cost a first round pick, and I don't think he's worth that. For the Eagles, like. He's worth a first round pick.
And I think he has a bad hamstring too.
Yeah, he's not a guy I don't think they're going to go.
Plus, he was out today with a hamstring.
Let me see. I'm going to look up a particular player. So you would be Robbie Anderson. What about Josh Gordon? What are your thoughts on him? I mean, if he's on waivers though, he's probably going to get picked up by somebody else.
You just went totally blank. I mean, not blank. I can't hear you. You're mute.
I'm still mute? Am I still mute? Hear. Oh, no. Can you guys hear me in the crowd?
Keep talking. I'll tell you what.
I can hear you. Well, we'll see what the people say. I guess I'll continue to talk. All right. Well, I just want to – all right, so people can hear me. I'm going to text you real quick. All right. So what I might do is re-invite you.
Can everybody else hear you?
Yes.
I can't.
They can hear me.
Okay, keep talking.
All right. So I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to try and text you real quick. So I'm going to try and tell you to log out and come back.
Weird.
I'm going to send you an invite. I'm going to send him another invite. And then we'll go back to this. All right, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to remove him from the stream. You're going to just see me. All right, so you guys can hear us both. Unfortunately, the problem is we couldn't hear Philly 500. Or Philly 500.
You now.
You can hear me now.
Yeah.
You can hear me now.
I don't know.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it was weird because it was. Yeah, I hear you.
I know. That's that commercial from back.
It was your lip and voice was like different. Like it was not synced, and then it just went mute for a while. So I don't know.
Yeah, gotcha. All right. So I think that's pretty much it. Josh Gordon, did we talk about him really?
No, we haven't talked about Josh Gordon.
All right. So what are your thoughts on him? Because I think he's going to get picked up by another team because I think he's going to be on waivers, and another team is going to be with a worse record is going to pick him up. Somebody
will pick him up, but it's just is he healthy? That's my whole.
Well, you'd have to wait another 1 to 2 weeks before You get them, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would throw a fly. I would take a flyer on him, but I'd still make another move. I mean, I don't think another two receivers is going to hurt you. You know,
I know the
like,
move you want to make. I know the move you want to make.
yeah, God, I want to make it so bad. But even if I don't, if I get Devontae Parker, if I get Robbie Anderson, I'll be very happy because then if I get Deshaun back, it's a bonus. But in the meantime, at least I got somebody that can stretch the field. I mean, how many passes did they even throw at Matt Collins today? How many passes were at Aguilar today? You got the best you got best corners playing Ertz at times, covering them. Sometimes they double him. Alshon had a good game, but let's face it, nobody else, none of the receivers help him at all.
Besides Jeffrey, Eagles wide receivers were targeted 4 times. Nelson Aguilar, all 4 of those targets. So Matt Collins didn't get targeted once in that game.
I mean, he stinks. You know,
Yeah.
he even admitted he doesn't care about playing wide receiver. He cares about playing special teams. To me, you're already defeated. You know.
What'd you think of Carson Wentz's play?
I thought he was good. I thought he was good today. I mean, I think there were some things he missed, the mistakes. Those happened, but I thought that when it got to crunch time, when it got to the third quarter, and then Buffalo comes back and scores, cut the game back. He come back and he answered, man. He answered the bell. I thought Carson was good today. I thought he had a really good game. What about you?
Yeah, I agree because I was curious to see because he only threw for 174 yards, and I know that's like what people might talk about, but I think he was 15 of his first 20. He converted a bunch of third downs. Let's see what it was. What were they on third down to close the game? They were 8 of 15 on third down. He had that big throw to Jeffrey along the left sideline in the wind. Also had a couple more Jeffrey to convert some third downs along the sideline, some comeback routes.
Right.
So, and then he had the one that Ertz on the post corner route on the touchdown to close the game. So he was fine today. People were going to look at the 100, or actually it was 172 yards. I think I said 174. So 172 yards. I think people are going to look at that. But this was about the running game today, and then him being efficient on third down, which is what the Eagles want to do offensively.
Yeah, I think so. And look, and to me, I'm not so concerned about the yardage because it was 28, 30-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to have a 350-yard game with that kind of wind. So to me, that didn't worry me. What I wanted to see from Carson, especially after the week that they had, after reading guys like Tim McManus and all these guys talk about this is his defining game of his career, even though it wasn't, make such a big deal of it. I thought he answered the bell and he did a great job. And I think that, I hope that it continues, but I still think they got the problem where they got to get other guys. They got to get these other receivers. They got to get somebody in here to help out, whether that's Deshaun back or trade for a receiver or do both.
You know what I want to get into real quick? The new linebacker kind of rotation that they're using here. So we're seeing TJ Edwards get some more snaps, and he looks pretty good out there. So I think, despite the fact that Nate Gary can get overrun at times, the linebackers look better than they were earlier in the season. Zach Brown can't cover. These linebackers have to cover in Jim Schwartz's scheme.
No.
So Nate Gary looks, whatever. But Kamu Grugier-Hill's playing. You're going to get Nigel Bradham back. And TJ Edwards was the guy today I thought was making some plays.
I got to go back and watch, but there was a couple of times where TJ Edwards just looked like he belonged out there.
Yes.
I felt like he belonged out there. That's what I came away with him. I mean, they did pretty good against the run for the most part, I think, right? I liked it. It was a great win. It was a great man.
It was. No, it was because this was literally the win I was looking for because it could build confidence moving forward. Again, this was not a win where you came from behind. It was a win that you got the win exactly how you wanted to win it.
Yeah.
But the key now is, can you win one of these games this way against a team with a better quarterback and a better set of receivers? Because that is where the Eagles have problems against,
Right.
better weapons, obviously, like the Vikings. But this was positive to see today. This was the type of win we were looking for, and they got it.
Yeah.
So, one step at a time.
It was. Yeah, it was one step at a time. I'm not going to go out there and start saying we're going to run a table, we're going to win a rest. Nothing like that. To me, this was a game that showed me if this team could come together and fight and make this a season. Now, it also opens the door to be buyers at the trade deadline. That's as I see it. Now, if they beat Chicago, I feel like if they could beat Chicago and then split between New England and Seattle, they could go on a run. They could go on a run. But one game at a time. This puts us in buyer mode, I think, and it showed me that the team isn't quitting. They're coming together, and we can build on that. And that's what I take out of this game, more than anything.
I said on the radio this morning, and they said it was crazy. I was like, look, if the Eagles win these next 2 games and they look the way that I want them to look. What?
I just lost the audio again.
You lost the audio again? Oh, all right, hold on.
It just went out again. What the hell's wrong with this?
Right.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay,
Yeah.
You can hear me?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, hi, I'm Philly 500, and we double moonwalked the Buffalo Bills' ass. I look forward to beating Chicago this week. Josh from Sports Fury, I burned his Trubisky jersey, and he was very pissed off at me.
I remember that.
And I look forward to beating their ass.
Oh, speaking of the Bears, remember when I took a lot of heat when the Khalil Mack trade happened? And I was like, this trade hurts them because Trubisky stinks. I'm a genius. I got it right.
I agree.
Yeah.
Totally.
But I got it
You're
right.
totally right.
So
I hope the sound comes back soon.
So you can hear me now.
Yeah,
that's great. Because the Bears went 12-4 last year flukily. Well, they are now playing themselves the way that they look exactly the way I thought they would look. All right. Anyway, the point I wanted to make before my sound cut off is my sound still here.
Oh, Sean Fitzpatrick's in the chat. I see. He's been blaming you for everything.
That's okay.
It's always your fault.
That's okay. It is my fault. It's absolutely 100% my fault. I take responsibility. But here's the deal. So I said on the radio show this morning, listen, I'm the only guy who still thinks that this team has a chance, which is crazy because normally I'm bitter Adrian and I'm just always off and angry. Well, I said on the radio this morning, I was like, look, if they win these next 2 games the way I want them to win, they're going to head into the bye week. They're going to prepare for New England, and they're going to beat the Patriots. An undefeated Patriots team, they're going to beat them in Lincoln Financial Field. If they won the game exactly the way I want them to win today, if they win against
you know what I should do?
They're beating New England. If they won the game exactly the way I want them I'm behind. I'm way behind.
It's on delay.
I see.
Yeah.
All right, so
They won the
after
game
I'm done
exactly the way.
talking, after I'm done talking, you're going to do your final thoughts, and we're just going to get out of here. Since we're already at 40 minutes in anyway. After I'm done talking, you're going to.
It's like a Chinese show, like the whole Chinese shows where it's I love it. I can't hear you, but it's great. Yeah. This is crazy, dude. This is trippy. See, I got us on here. I'm trying to listen, but it's delayed. Yeah, Dallas still stinks.
I'm actually not talking.
But look, a great win, man. Great win.
All right, so what's your final thought?
Would you try to re-sign Jordan Howard?
Honestly, yes. The way he looks right now, yes. If he's not a lot, yes.
Me too. Me too.
All right, let's do
my final
get out of here because this is annoying. This isn't working.
Huh?
Let's do final thoughts and get out of
I
here.
said something about final thought.
Oh, did you say something?
Yeah. Okay. Well, final thoughts. Great win. Got to beat Chicago now.
Beat Chicago. That's what it's all about. Next Sunday at Lincoln Financial Field before the bye. So can the Eagles have a winning record before the bye? That would be pretty crazy. All right, that's Philly 500. I am Adrian Fedque. I am going to go for 15 more seconds just so I can say that I went for 40 minutes. We're going to go for 40 minutes. We got 10 more seconds. 10 more seconds to fill. So Eagles, go down to Buffalo. I didn't have to put the team through a table. I bought 53 tables. I was going to powerbomb the entire team through the table. Didn't need to happen. Didn't need to happen. Eagles win it. That's Philly 500. I'm Adrian Fedke. We're out. Peace.